The Book of Revelation, also known as the Apocalypse of John, is the final book of the New Testament in the Bible. It is considered a highly symbolic and prophetic text. Attributed to the Apostle John, the book is unique in its genre, combining elements of prophecy, apocalyptic literature, and letters. The Book of Revelation is believed to have been written around AD 95 or 96 during a time of intense persecution of Christians under the Roman Empire, particularly under the reign of Emperor Domitian. The author, traditionally identified as the Apostle John, wrote to encourage and strengthen the persecuted Christian communities and to convey a vision he received on the island of Patmos. The central theme of Revelation is the ultimate triumph of good over evil, of God's kingdom over the forces of darkness. The book is structured in a series of visions, often presented in symbolic language, and it is highly metaphorical and symbolic in its depiction of cosmic events. Here is a brief overview of some key themes and elements in the Book of Revelation. Letters to the seven churches, Revelation chapters 2-3. The book begins with letters addressed to seven churches in Asia Minor, conveying messages of commendation, rebuke, and exhortation. The scroll and the Lamb, Revelation chapter 5. A sealed scroll is introduced, and only the Lamb, identified as Jesus Christ, is found worthy to open it, unleashing a series of judgments and events. Seals, trumpets, and bowls, Revelation chapters 6-16. The opening of the seals, sounding of trumpets, and pouring out of bowls represent a series of escalating judgments upon the earth, leading to the final judgment. The beasts, Revelation chapter 13. Two symbolic beasts are introduced, one from the sea and another from the land, representing political and religious powers opposed to God and his people. The woman and the dragon, Revelation chapter 12. A woman, representing God's people, is pursued by a dragon, symbolizing Satan. This chapter emphasizes the cosmic conflict between good and evil. The New Jerusalem, Revelation chapter 21. The vision concludes with a description of the new heaven and the new earth, where God's dwelling is with humanity, and there is no more sorrow or death. The Book of Revelation has been interpreted in various ways throughout history, with different Christian traditions offering different perspectives on its meaning. Some see it as describing events that will unfold in the future, while others interpret it more symbolically as conveying timeless spiritual truths. It remains a complex and intriguing part of the biblical canon, inspiring countless interpretations in the Book of Revelation, specifically in chapters 15 and 16. There is a series of visions described where seven angels pour out seven bowls of God's wrath upon the earth as a part of the apocalyptic events. Each bowl is associated with a specific plague or judgment. The concept of the bowls of wrath is symbolic and represents divine judgment and punishment upon those who have rejected God. These bowls are considered the culmination of God's righteous anger against sin and evil in the world. The interpretation of these passages varies among different Christian denominations and theological traditions. Some view them as literal future events, while others see them as symbolic representations of God's ultimate triumph over evil. If you have specific questions or if you would like more information on a particular aspect, feel free to ask. Traditionally, the author of the Book of Revelation is considered to be the Apostle John, one of the 12 disciples of Jesus. John is said to have received this revelation while he was exiled on the island of Patmos. The context, the Book of Revelation is apocalyptic literature, a genre that uses symbolic language and visions to convey spiritual truths and insights into the future. It was written during a time when early Christians were facing persecution, likely during the rule of the Roman Emperor Domitian. The vision, the revelation begins with a vision of the risen and glorified Christ, who instructs John to write down the things he is about to see. The vision unfolds with a series of seals, trumpets, and bowls that reveal events leading up to the final judgment and the establishment of God's kingdom. Symbolism. The book is filled with symbolic imagery, such as dragons, beasts, and various cataclysmic events. Scholars and theologians interpret these symbols in different ways, with some seeing them as representing specific historical events, others as symbolic of spiritual truths, and still others as predictive of future events. The final judgment. The revelation climaxes with the defeat of evil, the final judgment, and the establishment of a new heaven and a new earth. It emphasizes the victory of God and the Lamb, Jesus, over the forces of evil. The New Jerusalem Bible, NJB, is a modern English translation of the Bible that was first published in 1985. It is a Catholic translation and includes the Old Testament, the New Testament, and the Deuterocanonical books. The translation is known for its literary quality and its attempt to capture the nuances of the original Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek texts. The term New Jerusalem is often associated with a biblical concept found in the book of Revelation, the last book of the New Testament. In the book of Revelation, the New Jerusalem is described as a city coming down from heaven, symbolizing the ultimate fulfillment of God's promises and the establishment of a new and perfect order. The key passage describing the New Jerusalem is found in Revelation chapter 21 verses 2-4, NJB. I saw the holy city, the New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride dressed for her husband. Then I heard a loud voice call from the throne, "Look, here God lives among human beings. He will make his home among them, they will be his people. And he will be their God, God with them. He will wipe away all tears from their eyes, there will be no more death, and no more mourning or sadness or pain. The world of the past has gone." This vision of the New Jerusalem symbolizes the hope and expectation of a future state of blessedness, where God's presence is fully realized, and there is no more suffering or sorrow. It's important to note that interpretations of the book of Revelation, including the depiction of the New Jerusalem, can vary among different Christian denominations and In a world on the brink of apocalyptic chaos, a reluctant hero is chosen to unravel the mysteries of the book of Revelation and prevent the ultimate showdown between good and evil. Establish a world in turmoil, with signs of impending catastrophe. The chosen one, introduce the protagonist, a humble individual chosen by a divine force to understand and interpret the visions of Revelation. The scroll, the protagonist discovers a mysterious ancient scroll, unlocking the visions of the future. Act 2, the seven seals. The horsemen, the protagonist witnesses the opening of the first four seals, releasing the four horsemen of the apocalypse. Trials and tribulations, the world faces catastrophic events, and the protagonist encounters allies and adversaries on a quest to unlock the remaining seals. Angelic guidance, the protagonist is visited by angelic beings who provide guidance and reveal the cosmic struggle between good and evil. Act 3, the trumpets sound. The seven trumpets, the protagonist experiences the sounding of the trumpets, each bringing devastating events upon the earth. The beast, a powerful antagonist, embodying evil, rises to power, deceiving the world with false miracles and promises. The mark of the beast, the protagonist faces a moral dilemma as the world is marked by the beast, leading to persecution and chaos. Act 4, the bowls of wrath. The wrath of God, the protagonist witnesses the pouring of the seven bowls of God's wrath, bringing unprecedented destruction. Final confrontation, the forces of good and evil gather for the ultimate confrontation, culminating in an epic battle. Act 5, the New Jerusalem. The new heaven and new earth, the aftermath of the battle sees the establishment of a new order, with a renewed earth and a city descending from heaven. Resolution, the protagonist's journey concludes as they find peace and redemption, having played a crucial role in the cosmic struggle. The final battle is not explicitly used in the Bible to describe a specific event. However, the Bible does contain various passages and prophecies that are often interpreted by different religious traditions as describing a final, apocalyptic battle between the forces of good and evil. One notable passage that is often associated with the idea of a final battle is found in the book of Revelation, the last book of the New Testament. In the book of Revelation, specifically in chapters 19 and 20, there are descriptions of a final conflict between the forces of God and the forces of evil, often referred to as the Battle of Armageddon. Revelation chapter 19 verses 11-21 describes the image of a rider on a white horse, commonly identified as Jesus Christ, leading a heavenly army to defeat the beast and false prophet. This is followed by the binding of Satan and the establishment of the millennial kingdom. Revelation chapter 20 goes on to describe the chaining of Satan for 1,000 years, during which time Christ reigns, and then the release of Satan for a short time. After this period, there is a final judgment, commonly known as the Great White Throne Judgment, where the dead are judged according to their deeds. The wicked are cast into the lake of fire, which is often interpreted as a final, eternal punishment. It's important to note that interpretations of these passages vary among different Christian denominations and other religious traditions. Some interpret these events literally, while others view them symbolically or allegorically. The idea of a final battle between good and evil is a common theme in many religious and mythological traditions, and interpretations may differ widely. Passages you mentioned are from the book of Revelation in the New Testament of the Bible. The book of Revelation is the last book in the Christian biblical canon and is known for its apocalyptic and symbolic language. It is traditionally attributed to the Apostle John. In Revelation chapter 13, Two symbolic beasts are introduced. The first beast rises from the sea and is described as having 10 horns and 7 heads, with blasphemous names on its heads. This beast is often associated with political powers that oppose God and persecute believers. The second beast rises from the land and is characterized by 2 horns like a lamb but speaks like a dragon. This beast is often interpreted as representing false religious or spiritual authority. The woman and the dragon, found in Revelation chapter 12, describes a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and a crown of 12 stars on her head. This woman is often understood to represent the people of God, including the 12 tribes of Israel. The dragon, identified as Satan, seeks to devour the woman's child, who is described as a male child who will rule all the nations with an iron scepter. This child is often associated with Jesus Christ. In the book of Revelation, specifically in chapters 15 and 16, there is a series of visions described where 7 angels pour out 7 bowls of God's wrath upon the earth as a part of the apocalyptic events. Each bowl is associated with a specific plague or judgment. The concept of the bowls of wrath is symbolic and represents divine judgment and punishment upon those who have rejected God. These bowls are considered the culmination of God's righteous anger against sin and evil in the world. The interpretation of these passages varies among different Christian denominations and theological traditions. Some view them as literal future events, while others see them as symbolic representations of God's ultimate triumph over evil. If you have specific questions or if you would like more information on a particular aspect, feel free to ask. The narrative in Revelation chapter 12 emphasizes the cosmic conflict between good and evil, with the woman symbolizing God's faithful people and the dragon representing the forces of evil opposed to God's purposes. The story unfolds with various symbolic elements and visions that are rich in imagery and apocalyptic symbolism. It's important to note that interpretations of the book of Revelation can vary among different Christian denominations and scholars. Some view it as a prediction of future events, while others see it as a symbolic portrayal of the ongoing spiritual struggle between good and evil. I hope you like this video. Please subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you.